Muhammad Ali, every time he stepped in the ring, won most of the time, didn't win all the time, was always the smartest guy in the ring. The angles, the jab, he'd wear you out. Thriller in Manila, he was always the smartest guy in the ring, and he was usually the best guy in the ring. He left nothing on the table. He got everything out of his career. I wish he was today the great star in boxing. With social media, Muhammad Ali would be amazing. And then there was a bunch of fighters for a long time I didn't really care about. And then there was Mike Tyson showed up, and he was wildly entertaining. And he walked into the ring, and he was the most explosive, and he had the best knockout punch. But he left a lot of wins on the table in his career. And when I watch the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I think about the New England Patriots, the Patriots always feel like Ali. I know they're the smartest team playing. When I watch the Steelers, I always feel like I got some Mike Tyson. When Mike Tyson was dialed in, you didn't want any part of Mike Tyson. And in Pittsburgh last night, I got all of Big Ben's talent, and he was efficient. 22 of 25. I got all of their talent, and they were disciplined, only one penalty. I got all of their home run stars, and they had 7 different guy scores touchdowns. When Tyson was at his best, it was like, yeah, I don't want any part of Tyson. That's the team that should be the shoo-in for the AFC championships every year. But New England shows up every year. And New England's on the phone going, Pittsburgh, where are you? You know, we'll send Tebow this time. Yeah, Joe Flacco beat us this time. What? What? I mean, last night was Pittsburgh has everything, and they have for the last 7 years. They've had everything you want. Hall of Fame quarterback. Dynamic perimeter players, a coach that's going to make the Hall of Fame. They always have great offensive lines with Pro Bowlers. They got a 1,000-yard rusher. They hit hard. They're physical. They got swagger. Their pass rush is always better than New England. How are they not in the AFC Championship every year? But yesterday was classic Tyson/Steelers. What happened yesterday before the game? Oh, Le'Veon Bell sending an upside-down tweet. Everybody's talking about it. Antonio Brown gets in trouble for going 100 miles an hour. Oh, it was classic Steelers. It was just, even on a night they had it all geared up. It's all sorts of noise before the game started. But, man, they are lethal. They trailed 7-0. 11 seconds later, they led 14-7. That's like you're beating Tyson, and you wake up on the mat. But I had won the first 4 rounds. Yeah, then he hit you with a left hook. I didn't see it exactly. That was Tyson. Pittsburgh is highly dramatic and highly entertaining and highly talented and highly explosive. They're just highly all the time. You're just getting everything from them. And Carolina's a real team. I mean, going into that game last night in the NFC, I'm like, Saints-Rams. Okay, Saints-Rams are the best 2. I think Carolina's their best team. And that fight was over fast. That thing was over fast. And Ali and Tyson never fought. They never did. And I always thought Ali would figure out the angles. He'd wear Tyson out. Tyson, at the end of his career, didn't even have a jab. He was just going for home runs. But even though I thought Ali would win and beat Tyson, I always knew all Ali had to do was make one mistake, and he would end up in a hospital. And it is amazing when I look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, and on nights like last night when they got it all dialed in, the jab, they're in shape, they took the fight seriously, they still got the power. You're like, no, thank you. You better not go and get a soda because the fight could be over in about 8 minutes. I went to a couple Tyson fights where people didn't show up until the second round, and there was another fight because that one was over. And, it's just amazing. We're going to look back at this 20 years from now. We're going to be like, Pittsburgh would have won more Super Bowls, but they always had to go through New England. No, that's not the way it's worked. No, New England's only beaten them once in the AFC Championship. 2 years they missed the playoffs. 1 year Tebow beat them. Flacco beat them. Bortles beat them. Peyton Manning beat them. This has never been about New England keeping the great Pittsburgh dynasty at bay. It's been Pittsburgh not showing up for the reservation. And New England's on the phone. Hey, where are you? You out in the parking lot? I'll hold the table. No, we'll send Bortles. Hey, where are you guys? We're here waiting. No, Tim Tebow's on his way. Tebow? We already played him twice. Blew it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we lost to Tebow. I mean, wow is all I can say about last night. Wow. That was impressive. They were my Super Bowl pick before the year, and they finally looked like it last night. There are losses in football that make you go, whoa, 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 wait a minute. Like when Ohio State lost to Purdue, it's not only they're not as good as I thought, they got problems inside the locker room. They got problems I can't see. When Ohio State lost to them, Alabama loses, they don't lose like that. Oklahoma loses, they don't lose like that. Okay. That's what I saw last night from Carolina. I mean, New Orleans is going to lose. They're not going to lose like that. Rams are going to lose. They're not going to lose like that. New England's going to lose. They're not going to lose like that. I mean, Carolina makes you look at your resume now, and you start looking at it, and you're like, oh, you know, they gave the Giants 31 points with Eli Manning. I mean, they beat Baltimore, but Baltimore's now a mess. They struggled at home against Dallas. That defense last night, like if you literally handed the Carolina result so far, that was your resume, and you went for a job, the person interviewing you would be like, yeah, that's what happened in that year you were in Pittsburgh? Well, I was in a bad relationship. I wasn't very good at my job. I wasn't focused. How did you give up 31 points to Eli Manning? Well, I was in New York. My boss wasn't great. I just got sidetracked on that. I wasn't really dialed in. That resume doesn't look nearly as good this morning after that loss. I mean, you're like, what are they? They just quit. Their secondary's terrible. I mean, sometimes a loss is so bad, I got to go, wait a minute. And it's funny because before the season started, I was absolutely sure the NFC was better than the AFC. But I look at the AFC today and I got Patriots. That looks like a Super Bowl team. Steelers, Super Bowl team. Kansas City, Super Bowl team. Texans, Chargers, really, really, really good. And you don't want to have to go play them on the road. I look at the NFC now, and I'm like, Rams, Saints are tight. And then it's just a bunch of that. Atlanta, Carolina, Minnesota, Green Bay.
So you're taking them out of the Super Bowl bubble?
When you lose, New England doesn't lose like that. Saints don't lose like that. What was that? Alabama doesn't. That's how Ohio State. I
don't have an explanation for what that was.
That was just like, I don't even buy in. I don't even like that team. Here, Cam Newton with this decision early in the game pretty much turned it around, turned the stadium into really, it was over after this. Here's Cam. That was just a mess.
He was clearly looking at Christian McCaffrey.
And it was a little like Dallas on Monday night. Off a bye. Amari Cooper now there. You're at home, and you watch them play Tennessee, and you're like, no juice, no energy, no offense, no tricks, no sizzle. I look at Dallas differently. Again, if that game is 34-26 and you get outplayed, it just Steelers, punch in the forehead, it's at Pittsburgh, that's okay. But that's Ohio State losing to Purdue. It's like, you could lose to Purdue. You can't lose like that. Here was Cam talking about the blowout loss. I learned a lot. I learned I don't trust him. That was really bad. That was not good. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.